Let's talk about Return to Silent Hill, which is Christopher Gans, the director of the first Silent Hill, trying again to sort of bring us back to this world. And for better or worse, he doesn't really. See, a lot of people have definitely been feeling some type of way about this film. So, full disclosure right now, I have not played the game in full. I know the lore of Silent Hill 2, so on and so forth. I know what the games are about. I've seen countless people talk about it. I've seen countless gameplays, but I've never really myself really fully dived deep into playing the game. And I think that's a whole other experience than just seeing clips and all of that, right, of a game. So if you play the games, I think the general consensus here is you're going to hate the movie, and I don't blame you. I think that games are a very, very hard thing to make into a film because we all get different experiences. I know when Legend of Zelda comes out, everybody's going to be pretty much on the fence about it because we all feel different things about it. Some of us love the story, some of us love the world building, the lore, some of us like the side quest a lot more. You know, there's various things in a game that you just can't really replicate into a film. And I think a TV show, maybe. I think Fallout's doing an incredible job over there. I think The Last of Us sometimes does an incredible job, and sometimes it's kind of bad. It's kind of like a little bit of a back and forth with that IP right there. And, you know, it's interesting. And I think with Silent Hill, the games themselves are sort of very avant-garde themselves. They have a sort of way where people feel that something makes sense to them in this way, and others will say, well, actually, I saw it in that way. And that's even with the games in itself. So it's kind of hard already. Silent Hill, let's talk about it though. I was getting sidetracked. Maybe that's a whole other video I'll make. I think there's some incredible choices that Christopher Gans and the team do here at bringing to life this world. I really, really think the highs are super high with Return to Silent Hill, but the lows are some of the lowest things I've seen as well. I think there's a problem with the acting. Not to say that any of the actors are bad, but sometimes there's scenes in here that truly feel like they were the first take and they decided to run with it. Other times the actors are pretty good in this movie as well. So I think it's more of a consistency issue here where maybe certain times they were really going for it and other times sort of feels like phoned in. And that to me was the problem with the movie more so than with the lore and the story. I know he takes creative liberties with certain choices here as well that really were more impactful in the game. That's why some people are upset. And like I said, to me, it doesn't really come off glaring because I'm not that invested into the game. But that's why I say, I think that this is a movie where you have to go into it knowing it's not really a horror movie per se, because there really isn't moments of tension here that build. It's more seeing like gruesome imagery and also seeing some very interesting flares of choice to present something to you, right? And it's visually striking, like I said at the beginning, but not really per se a horror movie where I think there's tension that builds and it's almost building and then it kind of like lets it go because it needs to move on with the story. And a pretty packed and dense game like Silent Hill 2 just doesn't make sense to be under 2 hours in my opinion. And that to me is the biggest drawback for the film, is when I can feel a runtime, it kind of is bad, because if I'm trying to see what time is it and how much longer we have, it means you've kind of lost me. But the film would kind of find me sometimes and bring me back in, but it's just that constant coming in and out of it that I just didn't really like about the film. I do think that there is a world where there could be a great Silent Hill TV show. I just don't think Silent Hill really works in a format so constricting as a film. I think you really need to be able to expand certain things, because certain things that happen in Silent Hill 2 are worthy of an episode like hour length time, right? And I think that is definitely where it kind of feels rushed, and then at times like you're not given much at the same time. If that makes sense, I don't know. I'm not here to say that I'm being different and edgy, because I think that Silent Hill is good and that everybody who's saying it's bad are wrong. Entitled to your own opinion. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. I'm not right. You're not right. Nobody's right. It's just our subjective opinion. So take that as if you will. I'm okay with saying that I think that there definitely needs to be improvement. I'm here to tell you it's not the most horrible thing I've seen, and I've seen a ton of movies, and I'll tell you, it is not even close. It is definitely brought to life in a way which is honestly grand to see. I really do love Christopher Gans wanting to sort of bring his own ideas of the story and all of that as a fan of the game, and I'm open to seeing what comes next. I do think maybe let's pass the baton to somebody else, see what they do with it, and we could have something good maybe in our hands that everybody can sort of unanimously like. Never gonna happen, of course, but I'm open here to have hope. Overall, I think Silent Hill, Return to Silent Hill, whatever, is visually striking. There's some amazing moments in here. The acting can feel a little wonky at times, but I think it's more of an issue with the way that they edited and chose shots than the actors themselves, because the actors are pretty good for the most part in the film. I think that this is definitely one of those moments where maybe it's just time to try something different. This approach that they've had for the past 3 Silent Hill movies hasn't really worked. I think Silent Hill just works better if it's allowed to breathe more. And the only way you are going to accomplish that is probably through a show. So that's my input here. Let me know what you thought about the film. If you absolutely hated it, it's fine. Comment below. I'm not going to get my feelings hurt. I thought it was okay. Like, if I'm going to rate it on a 5 metric star rating, I would say 3. I don't do ratings because they don't even make sense, but probably say a 3 out of 5. There's definitely a lot I liked. I was entertained. I just think that there definitely was a, like, misrepresentation as to who this was for, because I don't think it's for the horror fans. I don't think it's for the Silent Hill fans. I think it was just not really like thought out of who is the audience here. It was just, I think this is what Christopher Gans wants to do, and this is what he's doing, and if you vibe with it, you vibe with it, and if you don't, you're not. So that's all. I thought it was good. I think it's worth checking out. I wouldn't run out to the theater though. If you haven't watched this yet, you could totally catch it on streaming, I think, and you'll be fine. But I'm curious to know what you think about it. I still think it's worth checking out just to see some of these monsters, some of these moments be brought to the big screen. Just you're not going to be happy probably with how they are sort of interpreted in the film. That's all I'll say. Anyways, make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. We're on the road to 50,000 subscribers. Let's get to it. And as always, I'll see all of you next time. We might check out an early screening of a film that's been high on my list, and it's going to be a great way to end January. Stay tuned if we do. Make sure that you follow us wherever else you can, on Instagram, on TikTok, all of that. As always, stay safe, stay positive.
To please come back to our special place. Something's happened. Love, Mary.
Hello? Can anyone hear me?